Good morning. Good morning. It is another day, another great day, another opportunity to do better. I'm not going to say get it right. I'm just going to say we're going to try to do better. So, good morning, everyone. I tell you, I had a good night's sleep, and it ended up that the morning came before I knew it, and I was making some decisions about how I want to do. Good morning, Jean. Good to see you in the room, in this space. So, my happy today is that, when I got up, I saw that the sun was shining yesterday. It was really gloomy and it rained really hard, and I had to go out in it. I had to make that decision to go out in it, but I did, and there were too many people. All I could say is too many people out here, for this virus to still be viraling, And I said, okay, I'm not interested in that. But the wonderful thing is that I made it back. I feel good. I had a good night's sleep. I think I came up with a good thing for you all to hear today, which is talking about push, and it says push to or push from. Sometimes we have a tendency to be pushed by others, but we're going to discuss that because I want to know about where your push is. Is it internal? Does it come from somebody external? Is it pushed by, people? Is it pushed by others? Where does this push come from? And we do have push. We just always do. There's always something going on which just says that something's not right, and we need to address it, but we don't always know how to do it. And so we have to talk about, yes, that's right, a gene work sometimes will push us around and around and around, and sometimes it's the people at work will push us around and around and around. And so if you have it double, what I call a double barrel kind of would be the job itself, and then the people having you work for them at the job. Sometimes that I remember those days when I were, in fact, a girlfriend and I, we were talking about that yesterday, about working and having a job that has challenges to it, and there's a lot to do and a lot is expected of you, and beyond that, you're doing as much as you can, and still, that's right, circles changing priorities, and like they give you priorities, and then they give you a new suspense date which changes the priorities that they originally gave you. So I know that. I know that really well about how things go. But we need to just really understand the level of our push. If we're being pushed and we're not pushing back, we need to get in touch with that. We need to know what kind of people we are. And so that's why I wanted to talk about push. Lately I've just been given these things, these pearls, I'm going to call them, of wisdom. And sometimes they are inspired by other things that I've either talked with, been involved with, been exposed to. They just given to me, and that makes it very exciting because I weave around it to make it mine, to hone it. What I talked about yesterday. Good morning, Deborah. To talk about what becomes ours. We have to claim stuff. Sometimes things claim us only because we stand there flat footed, and everything comes at us and we take it. But what I'm talking about is finding your own push this morning. And so I have a couple of poems, and as we move forward, but before I do that, my name is Sandy Winborn, and I want to ask you, are you stuck? Yes, you are. We're all stuck. Good morning, T. We're all stuck. We're all stuck. We're stuck on little things, sometimes big things, sometimes things we don't even know how to get around them. But we that's what this is for. Is that we can learn some new ways after quarantine and beyond. And that sound like something from the TV. Yeah, what you say. But anyway, I have a couple of poems, and they came from the internet. They're not mine, but they're anonymous poems. But I liked them. And I always try to come up with, oh, good morning, Latidra. I always try to come up with something that really suggests that there's movement in words. Sometimes we don't feel that our words are moving, but if If you're talking to somebody and you've touched them, guess what? Your words were moving. So you really have to talk about, you really have to get that understanding that words are very important. And sometimes we have to listen to them to get the significance of their meaning in totality to us. Good morning, Barbara. So let's do it this way. This poem, it doesn't have a name, but it's a poem that really talks about push. Okay, it says, with every moment you breathe, with every second you survive, you compete with yourself. For supreme best, you strive. Don't stop till you reach a point where you're fit to be called a great man, we'll say woman. Don't be satisfied with what you have. Push your limits harder than you can. Keep battling. Keep proceeding till flags of glory are unfurled. Remember, your battle is yourself. Your battle is not with the world. Don't make the world your opponent. You yourself be the one. Get better with every mistake you make during this long run. Battle till your last breath. And author the most glorious life story. Remember, the journey is tough. Beyond your limits lies your glory. So basically, this poem is saying, hey, look, you don't have to live in the world and be totally consumed by it. What it says is that you really need to know who you are. You are your world. So the world that you live in is a world. Yes, we have to do things to make ourselves be survivalists. But on the other side of that, there's us. What do you do for yourself as a person, just for you? Not worried about anybody else. What is the you of you? I'm always talking about getting down into the basement, understanding that going down the stairs, you're going to go down alone, and digging out stuff that you need to get rid of. Throw it away, come back up stronger. Good morning, my little nephew Lumen. So you want to talk about the fact that you're battling yourself. The world may also have some battle out there for you. Trust me, the world has some things for everybody. Some things that aren't nice, some things that aren't kind, some things that are hurtful, painful, troubling, all those things. But guess what? If you stand and have a way to push forward, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So you have to come back, recoil back into yourself and know who you are. The second poem is called Push Yourself, and it was submitted by Kenshi Shepherd. We find ways to make it. We are stronger than we think. Most believe they will break, so they give up at the brink. It is when you are near the end do most quit. Things get harder. Some come with sacrifices. You have the choice to leave or stay. But it is those who stick to the fight are the ones who reap the rewards. Don't give up when the pace seems slow. Continue the fight and finish with your greatest blow. To me, this poem says it all. Right now, pandemic has forced people some to stay home and some to take up their freedom and go on back out there, okay? But the point is that they're being true to themselves. I don't have a right to tell anybody not to go out, not to, I'm worried about how they may be, a carrier of the virus, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to cover up. I'm going to make sure that I have my protection. I'm going to push through this. But I'm in the process of me pushing through. I'm caring about who I am. Who am I? Who is Sandy? Who's all the people that are visiting with me this morning? Who are you? You have to figure it out. You have to figure it out. You have to know what your push is, and that your push should be yourself, not being pushed by others or things or positions or power or personalities, none of that. Back down to you. So we're going to start out, as I usually do, with breaking down the word push and what some of those letters could mean as we go forward. Good morning, Vanessa. So he says push is the thing of talking about exerting force. It's the drive. It's the press. It's the ram. It's the nudge. It's the bulldoze. Basically, push says, I'm going through. Okay, whatever. I always remember in New York, they had, like, we'd go to these little clubs and they had the little bouncer on the door. And, the bouncer looked like he could push you around. So I would never fuss with him. I would never mess with him at all. And, if anything, I'm going to smile at him, hoping that he'll let me in on the smile. But the point is that was the club's level of protection. That was their pusher. That was the person that was going to keep something from coming in. And sometimes we have to keep things from coming in, so we have to push on something to keep it from coming in on us. Sometimes when a door is being broken in, like for people who've been faced with robbery of some sort, and that somebody's coming in your house, that's a violation. So what can you do? Sometimes all we can do is call 911 and push on the door, or push some furniture up against the door that basically gives us a level of protection. So pushing through just talks about the drive, the force, the press forward, the nudge, the bulldoze. That's what we're looking at. So the P in push is for purpose. And that's the reason for which something was created or it exists. What is the purpose? What's your purpose? We're going to ask that again. So we want to talk about purpose is the motivation behind something. It's the motive, it's the grounds, it's the reasoning, it's the occasion, it's the point, it's the basis, and it's also the justification. So a lot of times you listen to people and they talk about why they did something, the purpose they did it. I will never understand how come people with great hate kill, but that's because I don't have a mindset of a killer. I'm not sociopathic. I don't have that kind of evil, demonic spirit, so I couldn't do it, but others can. And you wonder wonder where that came from. So their purpose became intentional to do what they did. They did harm. But people can also have a purpose to achieve something, a purpose to look at something. Purpose doesn't have to be the negative. Purpose should be the positive for most of us. That's our purpose because it's yours. It's ownership. You own it. Nobody else owns it but you. And so therefore that makes it exciting. That makes it worthwhile. That makes it, in agreement with your spirit of who you are. That's your purpose, The U in push is for unstoppable. That means it's impossible to stop or prevent, meaning ain't nothing coming up in here. This is mine, okay? This is my body. This is my temple. Only want people in my house that I've allowed to come in here. So there would be an unstoppable coming in. So the unstoppable could also be the person that has the gun, okay? That could be an unstoppable. The unstoppable could be the bull that's running down the street. I'm not gonna run next to the bull. Like when they have it where the running of the bulls in Spain. I'm not going. No, don't expect me to do anything like that, because I believe that bull much bigger than me, much more powerful than me. Therefore, to me, the bull is unstoppable. I can't beat that bull. I can't outrun that bull. Okay. And then the fact that the bull has the horns also says that I might be killed by the bull. So I have to talk about what my unstoppable is. And my unstoppable doesn't manifest itself in such a way that I'm going to put myself in danger. I'm just going to be unstoppable in terms of the things that I select to do in my life. And so therefore I'm looking at what I'm, it says incapable of being stopped. If I know that I got something I'm pushing on, I don't want to stop doing it. I want to continue being a part of that. I want to continue being ahead of that. Then that means that's my unstoppable, whatever that is. And it says nothing. It says it goes through anything in your path. Nothing comes through your path unless you want it to. Now, sometimes we may see something coming and we may have to get out the way because what was coming was unstoppable. You know, sometimes I always used to tell young people in New York when I lived there is that you can hang with people that are doing some things that you like the person and you like the edginess of what they're doing, but guess what? They get in trouble, you get in trouble. That's unstoppable. You know, only and only sometimes by the grace are you not, a part of what they got into. But generally speaking, associates, they just have a tendency to associate and accommodate. One thing leads to another thing. So that means you have to watch where you're going, and therefore you have to put some stops on yourself to make it where when you're going forward, it's in a direction that one, you can go to, and two, it's for you. You have to determine, you have to look outside. What's the vista out there? Where are you going? What are you doing? And what's the purpose? So it says you're going to push through your obstacles. You know that there's something there, and sometimes you have to go and say, I'm going anyway. Okay? Because what's there, I can get around it. I can get over it. I can get through it. I can get under it. The bridge, the mountain, all of those things have been, challenged. And some people make it to the top, of going to Mount Everest. Or they make it around, some of the most dangerous curves, like in California, where the curves look like the car can barely stay on the road. But guess what? They weren't unstoppable to try it. I'm quite sure there were people that didn't make it, but in this instance, hopefully they made it. I'm not going around the curve because I'm afraid of heights. Okay, the next, the S in push is for stance. The way someone stands, their posturing, their attitude, their bearing. How are they? You see people and they have a stance about them. They have a way about them. You see them. You recognize the fact that there's just something about them. They walk and they're secure in their walk, their stance. They stand still, and everybody says, "Wow, that's Michael Jordan." I don't know if y'all been watching The Last Dance, but I was finding it real interesting, and I always loved Jordan. Now, I didn't know anything about basketball and why they kept running up and down that court, but I love the fact that it was a beautiful sport and it was aggressive, but sometimes a person like Michael Jordan, what they call him, unstoppable. He would get 80 points a game, and he and Kobe, these huge numbers a game just by themselves. They would be considered in that game. That was their forte, unstoppable. And the last word in push, the last letter in push is the H, and that's called the honor, the respect, the great esteem, the adherence to what is right for you. The right of honor is your right of honor. Okay? It's the conventional standard of conduct. It's how somebody can be honest. What are their ethics? What are your ethics? What's the principle or principles they stand on? Good morning, Sharon. What do you stand on? What is your relationship with your honor? Do you know your honor? Do you know your worth? Because honor also has, a historical factor. It could be, left as someone else's history that comes to you, such as your grandparents and your mom and your dad. That if they were honorable, you knew that. Serving in the military, there's honor with that. Serving, if you're a religious leader and you serve well, there's honor with that. If you're a doctor, if you're any of the frontline people that have been, facing this COVID-19 head on, there's honor with that. So what is your honor? What is it? We all have to have it. It's also our morals. It's our morality. And then it's our nobility. All those things. Good morning, Gina. All those things are really honor. They're honor. They're your honor. My honor. And it's all self. All of what I talk about is really self-driven. because I'm trying to get you back down, rummaging through your basement, clearing out all the stuff that you don't need anymore, and coming out of pandemic, or even if you were on your way to the basement before pandemic, but then pandemic came, it gives you even more time to really take an investment in who you are and what you're all about. Subsequent to, because eventually we're going to get some more normalcy to what we're currently doing. But right now, there's still some, they're letting folks back out and people are coming out. But what I'm saying to you is, before you go out, have some new armor, have some new shield on you. Know what your worth is, know what your honor is, know what your stance is, know how to push forward, looking at who you are versus who other people assume you are or want you to be. So my questions today, and I hope you have a pen and paper. I get so excited when I start this that I need to say this. I appreciate you scrolling. I appreciate you stopping at this, location on Facebook Live. I appreciate you listening to you stuck. I love it that you stay, and I would absolutely be honored if you would. Good morning, my niece, Rhonda. I would love it, and be so honored if you would also pass this on as a share. Because what I'm doing from my heart. I'm doing because I do love it. And I'm doing what was given to me as a gift to share with you. And I woke up one morning with a dare from another, and here I am. This is my 32nd video of live. Good morning, Lawson, my nephew, and Lavender, of live chat. Just coming in to just say, hey, look, we need to just get you this information. So my questions today are, the first one, I'm going to ask the question: are you a pushover? Or do others push you around? Or I gave you 3 or 2 ors. Or can you push through and push forward? What kind of person are you? Are you a pushover? Do people push on you? Or do you push through? And do you push forward? Do you? I don't know. This is a time right now that pushing is required. What else can I do for myself? I can shore myself up that when I go back out there. No, and I'm not talking about going and push on lines, because they got six feet between you. So no. The next question is, are you unstoppable? Are you? Or can people and situations stop you? Now sometimes, yes, we have to have our guard up and be in a position of being stopped. Okay, such as, I'm not going to walk off the sidewalk knowing darn well that there's cars out there driving 35 and 45 miles an hour. I don't want to be in their path. That means I need to be unstoppable, because they're not unstoppable. And they can beat me just like that bull. Okay, I can't outrun it. I can't outrun the car trying to get to the other side of the street. So therefore, unstoppable in this instance talks about, I don't want to get myself hurt, but I do know I have some things I have to push out on. So the things that are safe, the things that are worthy, the things that make your life better, that's what I want you to be unstoppable with. Not the things that are dangerous, not the things that would certainly put any harm to you. Okay. The next question is, do you take a stance? Do you know what your stance is? Can you stand your ground? No, I'm not talking about fighting with a gun, or feeling that you need to take, matters into your own hands with a citizen's arrest. No, I'm talking about, can you take a stance on subjects that come up that basically, affect you? Can you do that? Can you come up with how you can look at telling people what you're not going to do, and basically having a stance on it? Not doing that. No, that doesn't include me. That's not how I think. That's not my belief. That's not honorable. There's something morally wrong with that. Being able to tell people that. That would be your stance. Okay? How you looking? How's it going? For you. For you. And my last question is, do you honor who you are? Or is your honor tied to other people's honor? I don't want to be honored because my mother was a wonderful woman, and she was. But I would like my honor to come to something that I've done. I'm proud of my mother, but I want to be known for what the legacy that she left me was great, and I'm passing it on through bringing her legacy into me, and then my legacy will go on to my child, and then hopefully it's passed on by generations or through, my nieces, my nephews, my brothers. That is, wow. They can say, wow, my sister did a good job trying to do that. My aunt did a good job. My mom did a good job. That's all I want. That's part of your legacy, is what you honor. What you honor for yourself is also what other people see as being honorable, about who you are. As they say, don't bring me anything that doesn't belong to me. That is dishonorable. Such as, I don't want stolen property. Don't try to sell me something knowing darn well somebody done stole it. I don't want it. That's why I try to go to the store, to a legitimate store, and not trying to buy things off of somebody who just decided that they wanted to sell me something. So I don't want to do that. But anyway, that's the area we were in today, is really talking about our push. We don't want to be pushovers, but we certainly want to be able to push through things. We want to be able to get it. Go for what we know is ours. Go for what we believe is right for us. Looking at our tomorrow today, saying, you know what, I don't want to do what I did in my past. I have to push through. I don't want to say the things that I've said in my past. I have to push through. I don't want to be associated with some of the people that I was before. I need to push over myself and them. Push over it, meaning in this case, I'm stepping over it. Not the laying down anymore. I've just made a decision that I'm going to move forward. And therefore, I have to come up with a new push. And the new push may require me to take a stance, to be unstoppable, to also be honorable, honor myself, honoring who I am. Good morning, Marie. And so that's what we want to do, is just look at who we are and how it makes us push forward, how it makes us push through what's been difficult in our past, and I'm hoping that some of you would certainly write even after this is over and come back to this area and write in the post that things that you've pushed through. This is to help everybody. Pushing through someone's death, pushing through a bad marriage, pushing through a horrible job, or pushing through children. Because child rearing is, you got to push through, because sometimes they bring you stuff you've never seen before. It wasn't in your mom's day. And so therefore you making it up on the fly, but you still got to push through. You got to push it. Got to push it. So anyway, when we talk about, thanks, Barbara. When we talk about the whole concept of pushing through, we have to breathe for ourselves. We have to live for ourselves. We have to be honest to ourselves. We have to acknowledge who we are to ourselves. Okay? It's not a question of what you want from me. It's what I want from me. That's one of my poems. I want what I want for me. What you want for yourself, I have no say-so in. I'm happy for you if it's certainly something good, and I see it as that. But it's not for me to judge. You do you. I want to do me. And we also want to talk about the fact that when you're pushing through, you want it to be the greatest blow, because you stayed, you didn't quit, you continue to move forward, you continue to push through all the things, all the obstacles, all the hurt, all the pain, all the judgment, all those things. And even the excitement, you still have to push through, because what goes up in terms of your excitement will come back down, but you still got to push through. You still got to push through. So when we talk about pushing, in this case, the push is to the exert force, the drive, the press, the ram. Good morning, Tricia. We really want to talk about what motivates us. What's our purpose? What is our purpose? What is your purpose? I'm asking you that. Write it down. What's your motivation? What is your motive? What's your grounds, your reasoning? What's the occasion that you would stand for something? What's the point you make? What's the basis? And certainly, what is your justification? What is it? What is it? It has to have some justification for what we do. And that is our purpose. And some of us have lost our purpose because we've lived so long in other people's purposes for us. And I'm saying to you, what is your purpose? Totally. Don't need anything else. Just your purpose. What are you unstoppable at? What cannot get in your way? Because you have a purpose, you have a push, you have a drive, so therefore you are unstoppable. Okay? Could be to enhance your career, could be going back to school, could be, making the relationship you're in better by being honest about what kind of relationship it is, even if because sometimes relationships aren't even good, but people stay in them because they don't know how to get out of them, or they don't know what to say about them. What I'm saying to you is be unstoppable in the fact that you have a relationship and it needs to be redefined or evaluated or just re-rigged. And sometimes both of you, or if it's a relationship with a person, it could be the two people. If it's a relationship with the company, the agency you work with, sometimes you just have to be honest. Like, why do I have more work than this other person? Why am I not treated fairly and they're treated fair, above fairness? I'm treated barely fair, if not at all. I'm not treated well. So therefore, the scale is unbalanced. I need something else for that. I need that. So that would be your unstoppable. The fact that you're giving your truth. Good morning, Felicia. You're giving your truth. You're giving your earnestness, your honesty, your it's your stance. It's the next word in push. Stance. Just understand. This is my posture. This is how I feel. This is how I'm posing this to you. This is my attitude. This is my bearing. How I feel about it. Not what you feel. It's how I feel. And sometimes people don't understand, even with hurt feelings. You don't know that the person is hurt because they may not tell you, but it's how they may act. And sometimes, you may think, well, I didn't do anything to them. It's not your interpretation, it's theirs. So it's also their stance. So sometimes we have to have a stance of understanding. We have to have a stance of honesty. We have to have a stance of worthiness, so that we understand where we're standing at. We need to know where we're at for ourselves as it relates to other people, as it relates to positions, as it relates to perceived power. Because sometimes people give power over us that they don't deserve. We give it to them because we continue to do what is requested, what is wanted, they need. And then we have to ask ourselves, when do we get our needs met? When do we say what we don't want, what we need, what we care about? If you never say it, then they don't know it. They don't know it. Especially people who are self-absorbed or into themselves. They're not looking for you to tell them anything. So guess what? That's time to talk. That would be your stance. How are you posturing yourself going forward with some things that you need to clear up, so that the excitement is on the other side. And then the last word is honor. What'd you say? Can't change people. That's right. You're right about it, Lamont. They rarely change. People only change when they want to. You can't get people to change, but guess what? You can tell them where you're at. And then they can either change towards you or you can change towards them and either X them out or make it where you're limited in your time and spent with them. But you understand that your push may be to push away in this instance and not push forward. That's your push. So anyway, the honor talks about your respect. It says high respect, great esteem. I want to have the highest respect for myself, even though I may have gone low sometimes. Let's face it, none of us are perfect. We're just not perfect people. And unperfect people do unperfect things. They do. Plain and simple. You can't even change it. You can't change what you did. Remember, Are You Stuck talks about not looking back. You can't look back and go redo what you did yesterday, what you did last year, 2 years ago, what you did in childhood. That's why people who always blame their parents for how they turned out. Okay, that was at a time that probably that's true. But eventually there comes a time when you have to take a stance. Stand for yourself. No matter what that parent did, it's over. It's over. You're in control now. And you being in control need to act like you're control. Control yourself. Control yourself. Understand that you need to paint yourself a new picture. Paint yourself a new way of going forward, a new purpose, a new unstoppableness, a new stance, a new honor. Who are you? Based on who you are today, not who you were yesterday, not who you were as a child. Because you listen to stories, and I tell you, as a counselor, I used to hear it all. I mean, I had cases where children had been abused, not outside the home by, bullies and all that kind of stuff. They were bullied inside the home by their parents or by their brothers and sisters. It could have been sexual abuse. It could have been emotional abuse. It could have been, psychological abuse. But the point I'm making is that when it's over, you have to say it's over. If you need counseling about that stuff, there's counselors that work through the issues of your past. But they're going to bring you to a point where you're in your present. And your present talks about your new purpose going forward, your new unstoppableness, your new stance, your new honor. Because let's face it, we could all find things to be, to pull us back, to push us back. We don't need it. We need to push forward. We need to push into our next level, our going up our stairs, our reaching the first level of our goal. And then we set a new goal. Once that goal's been met, then we make new goals and a new goal and then a new goal. That's the point of going forward. That is our push. Our push has elevation. Our push has what I call distance to it, because we can see where we're going and we need to head there. We don't need to be detoured. We don't need to be detoured with personalities, powers, positions. We need to keep going forward. And the only way we do it is we push it. We have to push ourselves. Nobody's going to push you unless you let them. Don't let them push you around. Move forward, move forward, move forward. And your questions are just that. Are you a pushover, or can you push forward? Are you unstoppable, or do you let people stop you? Do you take a stance, or do people stand on you or over you? That would be good. Good morning, Angela. And the last one is, do you honor who you are, or are you tied to the honor of other people? That's my lesson for today, my session on push. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to push the excitement that you'll be here again tomorrow. I'm here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time till they change it to Central Standard Time. I'm excited about this opportunity that I believe is God-given, and I'm excited about the fact that I'm going to help with the quiet time that you have, to come into this space with me, and certainly look at the opportunity of your betterment, your push forward, your stance, your honor, all of those things. It just says my tomorrow. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You can also visit my YouTube page, and you can just go to Sandra L. Winborn, PhD, and you will find all the videos that are here on Facebook Live, but you have to keep scrolling through a lot of stuff that is unnecessary. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll find everything, and please subscribe. I would appreciate that very much. I'm working hard, trying to push forward and trying to help you push with me your forward. Have a great day. I love you. And I'm going to ask you again, are you stuck? Yes, we are all stuck. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.